Magandang araw sa lahat. The Fraternal Order of Eagles is once again here with you to render public service in the field of law. We will be discussing about contract, more particularly the contract of carriage. Sa yung tinatawag na contract of carriage, applicable ito sa mga ikaw isang pasahero ng tricycle, jeepney, bus, or van, or barko, and including air transportation. Ang kontrata ang doon ay ang tawag yung contract of carriage. Ang may-ari ng transportation firm ang tawag doon ay common carrier, wherein the common carrier, the owner, the common carrier, will exercise extraordinary diligence in transporting his passenger from the place of departure to the place of destination. Hindi ordinary diligence, but extraordinary diligence. So, kontrata, well, a contract in general, even a contract in the so-called common carrier, it is not necessary that the contract be in writing to be valid. A contract under the civil code may be in any form. It may be in writing or it may be done orally. So long as the essential elements of all of the contracts are present, then the contract is valid. Kabisado ito ng marami, kahit yung kumukuha ng mga obligations and contract in undergraduate studies, right, na yung elements of a contract, valid yan, kahit done orally. Now, in case of violation of the contract, ay ano matatawag dito yung breach of contract. Ano yung breach of contract na ito? Violation in any terms and conditions of the contract. That is breach of contract. In a common carrier or in a contract of carriage, karamihan dito, maraming violation dito. Usually, nalilate yung common carrier. Ano yan? For example, itong ang usapan, alauna ng madaling araw aalis sa place of departure. Abay, dumarating itong kausap ninyo, yung common carrier, alas 2 na. That is breach of contract. And since there is a breach of contract, the common carrier could be held civilly liable for damages. So if the passenger, for instance, incurred damage or sustained damages, why? Because the common carrier was late, and as a consequence, the passenger incurs damage, then the common carrier could be held civilly liable. As we mentioned, the diligence required of a common carrier is extraordinary diligence. Abay, dapat mangangalagaan niya ng maigi ang pasahero mula ng pag-alis hanggang pagdating. And it includes what? The time element of the contract or agreement. Kung pinag-usapan, alauna ng madaling araw, ay dapat ang common carrier nandun na sa oras na yon. Siyempre, yung pasahero dapat nandun na rin because that is a contract. So any violation of the terms and conditions of the contract, well, it can be a cause of action to hold the other contracting parties, the common carrier in particular, liable for damages. Kaso hindi naman natin makukuha basta ang danyos na ito. You have to go to court. It is the court who will decide whether or not there is really a breach of contract. It is the court who will determine how much damage was incurred by one of the contracting parties. But of course, if you are the passenger and you believe, you said that there is a violation of the contract of carriage, you have to present evidence in court through your counsel that there is breach of contract and how much was the damage you suffered as a consequence of the violation of the terms and conditions of the contract. And it may be awarded by the court. If you cannot prove the amount of damage, or you cannot prove that there was breach of contract, of course, matatalo ka. Alright? Matatalo ka. But of course, if you can present evidence, you can prove that there was breach of contract, and you incurred damages as a consequence of the violation of that contract, then the common carrier would be held liable for damages. Lahat naman ng kontrata, hindi naman ng contract of carriage lang naman, hindi naman lahat ng kontrata, so long as one of the contracting parties suffered damage as a consequence of the violation or breach of contract, then the other contracting parties may be held liable for damages. But remember, hindi naman ikaw magsasabi. You have to present that in court. It's the court who will decide whether or not the defendant can be held civilly liable for payment of damages. There must be due process. The defendant shall be given the opportunity to present its side. Of course, the plaintiff, the complainant, will be afforded its opportunity to present its evidence. Alright, so maikli lang itong discussion natin. It is one of the services in the field of law rendered by the Fraternal Order of Eagles, specifically yung Eagles Club sa Antipolo City, Province of Rizal. Yung Limbas Eagles Club, marami to. May Ladies Club din, matagpuan sa Province of Rizal. Okay, sa kasalukuyan, I am not in the Province of Rizal, but I am in Butuan City, Agusan del Norte. Sa Cebuano, ang tawag ng city Dakbayan. So, Dakbayan sa Butuan. Okay, so maraming salamat sa lahat, at we in the Fraternal Order of Eagles, specifically itong channel na to, the Limbas Law Corner, is hoping that you will be with us. You will be listening to us, watching our channel, so that we can be of service to you or to the public in general. So maraming salamat. I repeat, this is the Fraternal Order of Eagles, Philippine Eagles, rendering public service for humanity. Maraming salamat.